Hello, viewers. How you doing today? This is Can We Talk? I'm Charles Scott Jr. with Tri-State Realty. This is my father.
Charles Scott Sr. Here we are again this beautiful day out here.
Yes.
Talking about real estate and some of the issues that might affect you and your pocketbook. So every week we come to you and we hopefully give you information that not only can help you but your friends as far as housing issues, what's happening. We've been in the business over 40 years and actually celebrating a 40th anniversary this year.
Yes, this year. Expect to see some special events and special posts from us talking about the history of Tri-State Realty. But I will say right now, I'll date this episode, we're getting into the spring market. Remember to set those clocks back later this week. Sun's going to be staying out longer. So what does that mean? We're going to be staying out longer.
And the snow's disappearing.
Watch that snow away this week with that rain.
So, you know, it's been a sort of a interesting winter. Like you said, you're dating this. So we're coming into the spring. Mm-hmm. And if anything, now's the time to get out there, whether you're looking to, you know, it's nice when it's a nice market for both sides. It's a good time to sell. It's a good time to buy. And there's pent up demand with all of the people, you know, staying in the house over the winter. It's been, if it hasn't been a lot of snow, it's been a very cold winter. You don't want to go outside.
It's like cold winter, but also different from last year's, I'll say, spring into winter, or, you know, winter into spring, where interest rates are actually very low. They're getting low. They're under 6 right now, 5.99.
Yes.
And I'm getting a lot of calls from people who have been waiting 2023, 2024, 2025. They're saying 2026 is going to be their year to get a house. So what does that mean also for my sellers? Great time to sell right now because I have a lot of buyers who are ready to move, you know, regardless what the interest rate does in the future.
That's it. And the thing about it is that people are coming out, they're starting to look around. People are actually selling and advancing up, and some of the people are selling and they're going down. You know, they don't need as much space. So that's a good thing. We're looking to have a, you know, very good year in the real estate market. There's a shortage of real estate still, but the government is coming up with a lot of different plans, and the states are coming up with plans so that they can make it more affordable, and by having more homes available. The building codes, they're looking to, you know, relax the building codes so that they can build more homes. And the homes that are coming out now are not the big, massive, big mansions like they used to be. Homes are smaller. In other words, they're making, because they have to be to make them affordable. You know, it costs money for insurance, costs money for labor, and for the materials. And people don't need the big homes now. Everything changes. In other words, you know, going back years ago, everybody loved carpet. Now everybody likes hardwood floors. Everybody likes ceramic tabletops. Now they like quartz.
Granite, they got quartz.
People go through changes.
I'll say also we'll see there's also always so much land also. People are going to be building, what do you see out there? Condos. We're seeing a lot of condos being built. We're seeing a lot of senior citizen places being built. But when it comes to single family, we specialize now. We specialize in first-time home buyers, and we're finding that more and more sellers want to work with, you know, realtors like us, you know, people that have experience, because we find buyers who are qualified. The worst thing that can happen is you almost get to the closing table and find out the person came and qualified for the house. That maybe there's some flood insurance was missed. Maybe the taxes weren't calculated right. Taxes are constantly changing. So definitely, with our experience, we've gotten some people in the houses and gotten our sellers top dollar also.
And the other thing I want to emphasize is that, you know, we're different type of real estate agency, or we're brokers. Both my son and I are brokers. In other words, I own the company, so you're going to get the personalized service from me and from my son. Mm-hmm. I own the company. We can make decisions that other real estate agents can't make. You know, all things are not the same. All real estate agencies are not the same.
Definitely not.
You know, you got your big corporate real estate agencies, and they have to go by corporate policy, and they have to go by, you know, the different rules and regulations, which we do as far as the state. Mm-hmm. But sometimes, you know, they may not go within a certain area. You know, you have a franchise, and a franchise can only go within this area, and they can't go outside of that area. We can go anywhere that we really want to go as far as, you know, time and travel allows it. We can help you. We can personalize plans just for you. You know, people used to fight against the big box stores because they say, oh, they're impersonal. You go into, well, you want to go into a corner hardware store or a Home Depot. You know, you're just chasing someone to find to help you. We can sit you down. We know the market. I know just about every street. I travel them every day. I know the streets. I know the people. We know the properties that are out there. We know when you look for a house, if you're an investor and you're looking for a multifamily house, we not only know the house, we know the tenants inside the house. As far as we might have even installed some of those tenants in there, but we can customize that property to fit you, your needs. Whether you're buying a $2 million house or you're buying your first co-op for just $50,000.
Exactly. You see what he said? Keyword: sit down. As far as we have an office. I mean, how have you talked to your realtor lately? Where'd you guys meet? Starbucks, a local, Barnes & Noble. We have an office right in Bridgeport. We know what's going on in Bridgeport. We're in the streets every day, as my father said. But like he said, we give you a customized service. We can hold your hand through the whole process. We talk to your loan officer. I know some realtors that do deals that even talk to the loan officer. You got to talk to the loan officer. How you know if the thing is flowing? So very customized experience here at Tri-State Realty. What's our slogan? We make you feel at home.
Make you feel at home.
Yes, yes.
You just said something too. What's happening is that everything is changing, including the real estate industry. The way of doing business is changing, where people are trying to cut corners and trying to save money. Even the big brokerage houses. You have Zillow. You have these big corporations where sometimes you may see a property on the internet, and you may call up and see a picture of an agent next to that property, and you will call up say Zillow or the corporation, whatever it may be, and say, hey, I want to see that property. And what they'll do is they'll call up an agent, or they'll sell your name to that agent. It's a lead, and that agent will meet you there, not knowing who you are, anything about you, anything about your they don't know the first thing about you. You show up at the property. They show up at the property. You might sit there half an hour looking for them, and they're looking for you because neither one of you know what each other looks like or even know what's going on. And that's your meeting for the very first time, because they just pick out a random person and they send that person there to talk to you.
Now, how about this? Sometimes that person doesn't have a pre-qualification, so they shouldn't even be in that step at all. They're going it backwards. Remember, people don't realize you have to get funding first. Go to the bank first. Go to your lender first. But they obviously come to the agents first. But we're going to hold your hand and point you in the right direction. And a lot of these agents don't know about the programs. You know about all the local programs that help people buy houses.
Yeah, everything, how real estate works basically is that if you've gotten a pre-qualification, or you have a certain property that you want to buy, and you've been to the lender, and the lender tells you, this is the program. You're going to be getting an FHA mortgage. You're going to be putting down 3.5%, and the house has to be in good shape and good condition. So if you're calling randomly on the internet, looking at a property, and the agent, he doesn't know that much about the property. You don't know that much about the property. You may be coming from New York.
Exactly.
You may be traveling an hour and a half and get there and all of a sudden look at the property and realize, and the agent for the first time realizes, this property is not going to qualify for financing. This is a property, the roof needs work. The sidewalk is all crumbling. The stairs are coming apart. It's in a flood zone. There's 20 things that property may have that will not qualify it for your type of financing.
Now remember, your type of financing, that's right. Each mortgage is not made the same. For example, I have a couple clients right now, they may send me 10 houses in the morning. I wake up, I got 10 houses. You get those Zillow notifications. Out of those 10 houses, maybe 4 or 3 are actually houses we can go see that will work with their mortgage. One may have solar panels. One may say as is, where is. One may be going through probate. One may be in a flood zone. So we're going to make sure we see houses that we can actually have a good chance of actually get a winning bid in.
So you see, there's quite a bit to it. You've got to customize, and you've got to be able to come all the way down to find out what is exactly wrong with that property, or whether that property qualifies for your type of mortgage. And that's what we do. We specialize in investigating, looking at it. We don't want to waste your time. Time is important. And we want you to understand exactly what you're getting into and what type of property. And also, we want to protect your interests to get a property that's going to be a quality property for the amount of money that you're spending. Remember, the lower the price, the more problems you're going to have with that particular property. That's why it's priced low to begin with. Any property that's priced under $250,000 or less usually has a lot of issues, and either roof may not need work, the inside, the electrical, the furnace, the plumbing, the wiring, all these things come into play. And what's going to happen is that we try to get you the biggest bang for the buck. We evaluate all the different properties.
Yes.
A lot of times people will call us and say, can you check this property out for me? What do you think of this property? So a lot of things that we do are the research in the office before we even take you out and show you the property.
And you already said that people call us. People see that number right there. When you call that number, you actually get us. Give us a call. Give us a property. Is it the property you're living in? If so, that's what we call a CMA. That means we evaluate your property. Remember, Zillow gives you a number on the app. They're just looking on the outside of your property, invite us over. Let's see what you have. You have a customized basement finish, maybe a jacuzzi tub, things that are going to add value to your property that maybe Zillow does not see.
Yeah, all of these different algorithms, and now you get more and more, everybody's talking about AI.
Yes.
All of the artificial intelligence is out there. Computers are taking over the world. Everything is photos. The biggest complaint we get, most people get, they look to the house and they say, it's nothing like the photos that we saw in the picture.
Yes, please see houses in person. Do not, I say trust the photos, but trust your eyes better. Go see that house in person with an agent.
Yeah, a lot of these photos can be doctored. In other words, we could take a picture of a house and it could be 2 feet of snow in front of that house and all around the house, and have the photo sort of photoshopped and have green grass as if it was the middle of the summer.
Very true.
And you're looking at a photo that gives you an image. Now, the house itself is still physically the same house. It has the same amount of bedrooms. It has the floor, the walls, the ceilings, and everything. But the photo makes the house just look more enhanced. So a lot of times what will happen is that you may send us a property, and I personally may go drive by and look at the property and send you some photos of that property that I take personally to give you a better idea of what the house looks like. So this is what you get when you get a broker or an agent that's personalized the service just for you. That's what makes the difference. That's what makes the difference between an agent that you're working with that's looking out for your interests versus an agent that's just a cookie cutter agent that just goes by the different types of programs that are out there.
And also just the agents, ask your agent how long they've been in business. He's been doing this for 40 years. I've been doing this for 18 years now. That's what, combined 58 years of experience we have here. And like I said, we actually want to help you save money. We talk to the different nonprofits in the area, places that have, say home buyer assistance, whether it's your down payment or your closing costs. We know a lot of agents don't look into that or don't have the time to look into that.
Yeah, like you said, I've been in the business a while. I've seen the ups, I've seen the downs, I've seen real estate. When I first got into real estate back in 1985, it was very easy. There wasn't all of this. There weren't even home inspections back then.
How about that?
No one did a home inspection. You
bought the house.
You just looked at the house and you figured out if it's going to need work. You had the work done. The prices were a lot less. People had support. You buy a house, you fix, and no one expected to buy a house that didn't need any work. Because after all, it's a house that's been lived in for 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years. Imagine buying a car that's 50, 60, 70, 80 years old and you expect it to be brand new.
Exactly.
People just expected the benefit was you're buying a house, it's yours, you own it, you can fix it up, you can change the walls, you can paint it, you can tear it apart, put it back together. That was the joy of owning a house.
But I will say, we're at a different time now. I blame mostly commercial media, but you see these HGTVs, these cookie cutter TV shows where people turn the key, they open the house, it looks perfect. I will say, if you open a house and it looks perfect, you're going to be paying a perfect penny too, because that house is going to be made to sell for top dollar. Now, when you're working with us, we're going to find different strategies. Maybe you find that house that works for you. Remember, it's a starter house. Doesn't mean it's going to be your final house. We'll find a house that looks great, works for your budget, but maybe the kitchen's a little bit dated. Maybe the bathroom's dated. That's all right, because you can upgrade that yourself for half the cost and get that equity in the long run.
Yeah, well, like I said, I've been doing this for 40 years, seen the ups and the downs. In the last 10 years, we've gone through an era where everybody's busy, people are working, people, they run out to look at a house on the fly, they run back, and they don't want to do anything. They don't want to fix anything. They don't want to, and most people do not have the support or the trades or the ability to do this or that. They just want everything at once. They want everything put in front of them. They want everything brand new. They want this to work. Well, like you said,
it's not impossible, but you will pay for that, because that's what. If you want it that bad, imagine the other couple that's been looking that bad. Imagine you starting your journey today. What about that couple that's been looking for a house for 9 months? So that's why it's good to have agents like us in your corner, because we're going to be able to navigate different deals. We know agents out here in this field. Before I even show a house, I call the agents. What's going on with the house? When's the highest and best? Is there a lot of offers, et cetera, et cetera? So it's good to have the agent who knows other agents in the area too.
Also, on another note, we're talking about buyers, but if you are selling a house, we can add, thousands of dollars in your pocket by coming out and telling you simple things that you should do to prepare that house for sale. That's what we call a market analysis. We'll come out, there's no cost for it. We'll come out, it's free. You don't pay for it.
Whoa, that's great value.
Nothing.
You get 2 experienced agents to come to your house for free, and they do a market analysis and give you a report.
Right.
That's great.
We may say, recently you had a house that the people were trying to rent out, and it had dark green walls that they had just freshly painted. They like green, and everybody else called on that property. And some people, or most of them, didn't even want to look at it, because they said, "Oh, look at that!" They couldn't even see past the color of the interior. So you explain to them, for the highest value, go with a neutral color. Yes. People like that light blue or a neutral, what they used to call it, eggshell white.
Eggshell white, off white.
And that made a big difference.
Oh yeah,
all of a sudden,
more traction now.
People are looking beyond the color, and they're looking at the size of the rooms. So it's just a simple fix. In other words, we can give you ideas, as far as what to do within that kitchen, certain small repairs that you can make, and how you can decorate that house to add. Yes. You might get $20,000 more for that house, or more, based upon just some small suggestions that we give you as to what to do and how to market that property, and how to make it so that we know what people are looking for. We know what people are coming to us and saying, this is what I want. So when they're, what's happening now is, like I said, out of convenience, people they want immediate gratification. It's like shopping in a catalog. They want to look through the computer and hit that button and flip the pages and see what the houses look like. And what's going to attract them to come out and see your house is something that's going to catch their eye.
Exactly.
So what we'll say is, this is what you have to do to make this house attractive for someone to even come out and look at it. I've sold houses that people had no intention that this is what they were going to settle with, because they were thinking, well, this is what we want. I said, well, let's try this. Well, let's go in there and let's see this house here. Might have they wanted more space. Go down there, it's a finished lower level.
Exactly.
Say, oh, we got a lot of the backyard. The pictures don't do it justice. So there's a lot of things that we add as realtors of value that can assist you so that you can make a better decision, get more value for selling the house, and make it a lot easier for you when you're going out looking to purchase.
Exactly. I mean, we've had clients, they give us a call. They don't realize, if you go to these other brokerages and stuff, they will give you the basic, all right, list your house, boom, maybe do an open house for 2 hours. I've noticed we do the longest open houses in the market. We do 4-hour open houses, double back, Saturday and
open
Sunday.
houses.
And we do video tours. We put out there to New York. New Yorkers really want to see video. They want to see high quality pictures of your house. So we take care of that also. And like I said, we have connections in the area and throughout the state, in the tri-state area, people looking for houses. We have a whole list of buyers ready to go. So if you're ready for top dollar, definitely give us a call.
The other thing is that, we mention it every week, but probate. We do a lot of probate cases. Recently, I looked in the city of Bridgeport, just one city, and there's over 500 properties that are in the estate of someone else's name, or a probate case, meaning someone passed away and the property is just sitting there. There may be heirs out there, brother, sister, someone
Yes.
living in Canada, North Dakota, North Carolina, Virginia, that is one of the brothers, the sisters, cousins, nephews of that person that owned that property, and probably not even aware that that person owned property. People don't like to tell you their
Yep.
business. People
That's
don't
true.
like to tell you your business, so you come to the funeral, you go to the funeral, you go back home, and you may find out that, you are an heir to that property that person owns, but how would you know, since they never told you they even owned any property to begin with? And how would the court know about you, because that person that's deceased never told the court about their relatives?
Exactly.
So the property sits there. Eventually what happens is the property gets auctioned off. The city grabs the property because the taxes build up. And after the taxes build up on the property, then the city sends out notices. There's no one to really notify, and then they have an auction and they sell the property to whoever is the highest bidder. So there's over 500 and some properties that in a situation like that. So, if you...
I was going to say, that's Bridgeport, right? 500?
Yeah, it's one city.
And this broadcasts in Bridgeport and Stratford, so imagine Stratford. So those of you who have inherited property through probate, give us a call. And remember, we're real estate agents. We're experts in our field, but we also work with other experts. We know a lawyer, a probate lawyer,
Yes.
who knows this from A to Z, and we work with him also. We'll have him on the show one day, and we'll answer some questions. But definitely, probate, we're definitely in that category of agents that know how to specialize in it.
So if you have a property, or one of your relatives had a property, and that property is out there. There may be a property that's abandoned. There may be what you call, as far as mortgage on that property. So the mortgage company would be foreclosing on that particular property. So you may want to give us a call. We can look into that particular property for you. And
Exactly.
with probate, we work with a lot of people as far as attorneys. We can give you advice, and we can steer you to the right attorneys that can sit down and explain to you how the probate process works. And in many cases, you can list that property, sell that property, or even in general, if you are having trouble making a mortgage payment, you don't have a job, there's no way that you're going to see that you're going to be able to come up with the money, don't sit there and let the bank foreclose. Sell the property.
Give us a call.
Sell the property. I mean,
People don't realize the equity. Those sitting there right now that are saying, forget probate, I got a reverse mortgage. How we get out of that? We specialize in reverse mortgages.
mortgages.
Reverse mortgages, and this is a different time of history where this is one of the first times I've seen it, where people that took out reverse mortgages years ago are actually getting more equity. It's actually not keeping up with the loan, as far as you could sell the house and come out with some money. So give us a call. Anybody with a reverse mortgage.
Yeah, and in the past, like I said, I've been through it all in the last 40 years. Years ago, what people would do is they take out a reverse mortgage, they get the money up front, and they would use the money to supplement their retirement. They live a pretty good life, and then after they pass away, the house would go to the bank, because after all, the bank already gave you the money up front for the value of the
Exactly.
house. So you didn't really care. So you're able to live good, take vacations, and not have to worry about making a mortgage payment. And then after you pass away, the bank takes the house and everybody's happy. However, there's one option, or more than one, but there's one particular option that's a good option. Since the values have gone up on the properties, that house that you are letting the bank take back may be worth a whole lot more than what you borrowed against it. So now you have the option, or your heirs have the option too, of selling the house, paying off the reverse mortgage, and keeping the difference.
And please save those letters. Do not throw them away. People may say, well, the house belongs to my grandmother. The company won't talk to me. That's when you call us. We can have the lawyer and everybody talk to the company. Say, hey, this is the death certificate. You're the new person in charge of the estate. And we can get things moving with the reverse mortgage and see how much is owed and possibly sell a house and get some equity out.
So whether you're looking to buy a house, sell a house, if you're in foreclosure, if you're doing probate, these are all of the things that we specialize in, and the things that, we get people top dollar. One of our mottos is, we get you top dollar. The top dollar. Let's put it out there in the marketplace. Let's have people fighting over giving you money. Let's see who can give you the most money. So that's one of the things that, we specialize in doing.
And also landlords, give us a call. Those landlords that I know a couple of landlords, multi-families with low rents. You're tired of being a landlord, give us a call. We can sell that building with the tenants in it and still get you top dollar. Give us a call.
Or get you a tenant that will pay you top dollar.
Exactly, that too.
So hopefully this has been a lot of information, but we're coming into the spring. The market's heating up. Now's the time for you to get ready to get out there. Give Tri-State Realty a call. Give my
number
son
right
a call.
there.
There's our number right there. Give us a call. We'll come out, personalize the program just for you.
Exactly.
So until next week, God bless.
Amen.